In today's Airsoft unboxing, I searched the internet and found Airsoft guns you've never heard of. I got cheap, I got expensive, and of course, I got lots of weird Airsoft guns. Have you ever heard of an apocalyptic pistol with an underbarrel shotgun, or perhaps heard of the Airsoft gun called the electromagnetic cannon? Yeah, I didn't think so, and that's just to name a few in today's video. Alrighty, starting out with the first Airsoft gun of the day, this is the Tokyo-Marui AK-4U Light Pro. And I know what you're thinking, this is just a normal AK-4U, what is so special about this guy? I've seen a whole bunch of these. Well, this guy has a little bit of a catch to it. This guy comes in at $150, but without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this guy and show you guys why you haven't seen something like this before. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know it comes with these, but it actually has these included 0.12 gram Tokyo-Marui BBs, and they look like little gray marbles or something weird. That is insane. I've never actually seen BBs look like that before. That's crazy. Looks like we have our magazine right here, and as well as the Airsoft gun itself. At first glance, this guy is pretty much like a normal AK-4U, and I was actually pretty shocked to see how it was powered. So Tokyo-Marui, as you guys know, makes very high-end Airsoft guns, and pretty expensive ones too. What? But for this guy, if you open up the top where the actual battery is supposed to be for, normal AK builds, this guy is actually fully powered by AA batteries.
Yo, it's a Duracell battery.
You heard me right, a Tokyo-Marui AAG fully powered by AA batteries and has a fully plastic gearbox, which you can see peeking out of the top right here. Not sure why they did this, but I've never seen a brand like this that makes high-end Airsoft guns make something like this. So I'm very curious to actually test this guy out and see if it's actually pretty good, because maybe there's something we're missing out on.
Oh dang, I almost forgot this guy. That would have been bad. Alright, so in this video, we're going to be doing 0.20s for all of the chronograph tests. And this guy's first up. Let's get this bread. Alright, let's turn this guy on semi-mac and see what it's got. Man, this is like a super cheap plastic piece. That is crazy. Look how much it bends. Bruh. That is cheap. Whoa. Wow, this thing sounds weird. Oh my gosh, FPS is bad. That is crazy. We're getting about 112.6 FPS with 0.12 joules with 0.20. That is bad. Holy. Okay, let's see what the RPS is. Whoa, that's way faster than I would have thought with this guy. About 13 rounds per second. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Damn, them AA's going off.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bro, it doesn't even reach the target? My friend, that is embarrassing. Dude. They're like floating the target in slow motion. That's hilarious. Okay, we are so close to the target and just aiming straight to the middle right now. It barely gets to the bottom of the target. That's so bad. I have to say, for a AAA gun, the trigger response is actually pretty fast. But as you can see, the actual accuracy and precision isn't too bad besides the actual range where the BBs are all the way at the bottom of the target. 100 FPS, but $150 from Tokyo-Marui. I would have never thought they would have made something like this. So let's try out some full auto. So this guy obviously has one of the worst ranges I've ever seen for how expensive this actual Airsoft gun is, but the trigger response actually isn't too bad for being powered by AAAs. So my faith in this guy being able to hit the targets down pretty fast actually is pretty high. Obviously, if it's able to even get the targets down because the FPS is so low. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's test it out. That target was like this. I couldn't even shoot it. All right, well, that was my bad. I forgot I was on full auto. Let's see what one was semi. Boy. Dude, this thing is so underpowered. It takes like 3 BBs to get those tiny little targets down. I definitely have no idea why they made this or why this guy exists. All right, guys, up in the price by a whole 9 buckaroos. This guy comes in at $159, and this guy is the CSI Star XR5 Advanced Battle Rifle. We do have a pretty unique boxer here. It looks like some kind of futuristic design, but let's go ahead and show you guys why this thing is so insane. You probably have never seen this guy before. Wow, that is a cheap owner's manual. That is literally like scratch paper. But this is actually what this thing looks like. Absolutely insane.
When I was trying to find airsoft guns to get for this video, this guy definitely stood out to me. It has some crazy like Star Wars, Star Trek, like futuristic alien kind of vibe to it, which is pretty cool, honestly. And for the price, usually stuff like this is a little bit more expensive. So only $160 for something that looks this crazy. I was definitely tempted to test it out. This guy seems to have a good price, but there's obviously some quality concerns with this guy. Right when I was kind of like messing around with it, the outer barrel and the kind of like the flash hider are definitely pretty like loose and wobbly, so that's kind of one thing I noticed. And obviously it is majorly a plastic design, and the stock back here is a little loose as well. Oh boy. So although this guy does look pretty weird and definitely out of the ordinary, it does actually still work like a normal M4. So here's the mag release right there. You basically press that and then this guy will actually come out right there. And then at the bottom has some kind of like plastic end piece they added on there to make it look a little bit more futuristic and kind of like blend in with the body itself. And this guy actually does have a fully functional hop up as well. So it doesn't really have like a standard little like bolt to pull back. So the dust cover opens up. So there's a tiny little engravement actually on the little dust cover. Once you open that up, you have access to the standard hop up right there. The last thing we'll actually go over with this guy before we go on to the shooting test and stuff like that is where does the actual battery go? You actually have to take the front rail section right here and then pull it forward. The little plastic handguard right here will actually open and swivel downward like that. You just plug in the battery right there and then of course close it back up with the battery in there. Slide back our little Picatinny mount back on the little handguard right there, and that's pretty much it with this guy, and you're ready to shoot now.
We're using a 9.6 volt just in case you're curious. Let's see what this guy's shooting at. Whoa, it's actually pretty high, honestly. It is shooting just under a 400 FPS at 398.3 FPS with 1.47 joules. Now let's go into full auto and see how that is. Wow, this guy is shooting less rounds per second than the AA AK. Oh, that's bad. That's embarrassing, dude. But for example, I'll show you guys a different sound. The AK has some kind of like weird sound to it, but this guy has like that normal like cheap airsoft like screech to it. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit of a different sound. This should be no problem for this guy. Let's see how this does at this range. Man, that whine is bad. Pretty impressive. Very, very tight grouping on the yellow and red there. We got a couple random ones as well, but definitely not too bad for the price. That is some great performance for about 80 feet with this guy, especially for only being $10 more than that last one. All right, let's test out the semi-mac response. So the semi-mac response is pretty decent, but yeah, that sounds so whiny. That's crazy. This literally hurts my ears just shooting it. Let's do some full auto as well. Whine, 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 whine. Decent RPS as well, but yeah, that whine when you shoot it is so bad. It's like, oh my gosh. Nice. Wow, this FPS even leaves like an indent on the back. That's pretty crazy. Full auto time, let's get it. Ah, I need to whine my boy. This is why I like mid-caps better, man. This is just embarrassing. The quality in this guy is definitely a little bit questionable. That flash hider is trying to fall off. And when you shoot it, it like does a little bounce. All right, next up, we're bringing out a gas shotgun. And this guy is from Jag Arms and is actually coming in at $185. And let's go ahead and show you guys why this thing is so insane. All right, so it looks like this guy comes with a speed loader and 3 separate little shotgun shells. And yeah, that's the entirety of this guy. It's completely missing a stock, as you can see right there.
Why? Why not? Why though?
But what is going on with this guy? So as you can see, it is a shotgun of some sort. And you can see that if you open these little latches at the front, there is actually a little section to hook this onto a Picatinny mount rail. So if we take our voluntary 416 right here, we can now see that if we attach this to the actual Picatinny mount rail, it'll actually stick on there and basically become a under-mounted shotgun for this guy, which is pretty cool. So you heard me right, guys. This is a fully under-barrel shotgun attachment for your airsoft gun. This thing is pretty dope. But the actual functionality of this guy is pretty simple. It works basically just like any other Jag Arms shotgun. So the green gas just goes in right there. It's actually stored in the body itself and not the actual shotgun shells. It has a really cool feature where you actually can do a 3-round or 6-round burst of BBs every time you pull the trigger. And you load these shotgun shells at the bottom right here like any other airsoft shotgun. Just load this guy up like that, and it's ready to go. This guy is actually pretty cool. The only big con I could see with this guy is once you put it on like a GBBR like I just did, it's pretty heavy. This guy definitely does not weigh a small amount. I'll put the weight on the screen right now.
Hey, yo, what the?
So if you already think your airsoft gun's heavy, I definitely would not recommend adding this to it. But this guy's actually pretty surprisingly fun to shoot. So let's go ahead and test it out.
It is a tri-shot shotgun, so I can't really chronograph it. I'll show you guys what happens when you do. It just doesn't really read it right. Oh wow, that was actually probably pretty realistic to what it's supposed to be. 285.3. Okay, well, maybe I was wrong with 0.76 joules. Let's do a quick little test on the target. Whoa, pretty damn good actually. It's so satisfying to pull that back. Woo! Damn, I thought this was gonna be kind of bad, but it's actually pretty useful. Damn, okay. This is actually not a bad backup to have on you. The puff of smoke's pretty cool too. Damn. That's sick. This guy's a lot more useful than I thought. Honestly, pretty good results for a shotgun. Obviously, this guy isn't really supposed to be for range, but let's do one shot back here just to see if it'll hit. So is having an underbarrel shotgun or airsoft gun practical? Probably not, but you can do this. I'm actually gonna aim between the airsoft targets and see if the BBs will disperse and hit both of them. All right, now let's aim directly on the target. Oh, out of BBs.
So good and tasty?
This is way more satisfying with a shotgun. Nice. All right, up next, I have a airsoft manufacturer that I'd be very surprised if you've heard of. This manufacturer is literally called the Taiwan Airsoft Slong or Slong, almost sounding like Schlong, which if you know what that means, that is a crazy thing to name your airsoft gun company. We got some very heavy flame used for the branding with this guy, as well as you could see they use some kind of like, you know, snake or dragon looking thing for the S on their logo. Pretty funny. Let's go ahead and unbox this guy and show you guys what it looks like. So first off the bat, it looks like we have this huge like cardboard box that says Slong on it. But let's go ahead and see what they have in this guy. Hi, sisters! All right, well, it looks like we have a little magazine in here with a cap on it. Well, that's one way to get it off. Looks like this guy is a mid cap, which is pretty nice. It does look pretty cool with the exterior design as well. Let's go ahead and unbox this guy and show you guys another funny little element to this guy. Trying to get rid of zip ties with a knife. That is some small brain activities, but we're gonna do it anyway. Whew. That's definitely not how you're supposed to use a knife, but we gotta do what we gotta do. All right, let's see what this guy looks like. Bro, when I did that, I literally punctured the stock. That is small brain moves right there.
At first glance, this guy definitely looks to be just a normal airsoft AEG. But you'd be wrong. This is the Slong, baby. So here's part of the fun with this guy that I've never seen actually this feature before. If you take your airsoft magazine, it actually has a fully functional like M4 magazine holder in the stock. As you can see, you could take a M4 magazine, this is the one that came with it, and you could basically just plug this guy up into the stock and it'll actually lock it into place. You can have a fully functional M4 magazine like holder in the stock. So I guess the idea is being able to reload quicker, obviously, but the problem is it's pretty awkward to like reach the back area where you're supposed to release the magazine on this button on the stock to get your other magazine. So it's probably just as quick to reach into your vest and get your magazine anyway. So yikes. So innovative design thinking or stupid idea, I still have no idea. But it's definitely unique, I'll give it that. This guy definitely is pretty funny because the actual branding of the name itself is like a fire snake. Kind of just seems like it's some kind of crazy big inside joke to me. You can see like the little cool snake eyes, obviously the really cool flash eye that looks like a snake tongue. I've never heard of this brand before, and all of the actual reviews on the website had 0 stars. So I'm not sure if anyone's even bought in this brand before. It's actually quite expensive for how it feels, at least. This is the retail price, and then this is what I got it for. So it's still pretty relatively expensive. So let's go ahead and test it out and see how it does.
All right, the slong up next. Let's see how this guy does. I just noticed this guy doesn't even have a front iron sight. That is hilarious. Wow, okay. Over 400 FPS yet again. 406.9 FPS with 1.54 joules. Man, this guy sounds so bad too. Ugh. Yeah, that sounds terrible. Let's see what the RPS is now. All right, you know, not the best, but could be worse. About 10 rounds per second. Yeah, this guy has that screech to it, you know what I mean? Oof. All right, no iron sights on the top, just a snake. Let's see how this goes. All right, we got some weird ones at the bottom right there, but overall, pretty solid grouping on the middle of the target on the red and the blue. Let's go ahead and scoot back now and see what this guy's got a little bit further distance. See, we can see a little bit of a further spread, scooting back a little bit, but still keeping up pretty decent at that range. This guy, in theory, should be pretty similar performance to the last one at getting these guys down pretty quick, so let's test it out. Ooh, without iron sights, not too bad. See, you don't need iron sights in airsoft. It's overrated. All right, let's try to go as fast as I can now. Ooh, yeah, it's spicy. Damn, these higher FPS airsoft guns are definitely making some dents in these targets. That's crazy. All right, full auto time. Alrighty, up next we have the smallest box of today's video. Basically just like tiny little carrying case, which is pretty surprising for the price. This guy comes in at $250. Let's actually first take this guy out of the case before I reveal the name, because it is quite an interesting name and will make a little more sense when you actually see it. Ooh. All right, so the manufacturer is Shoguns, and looks like we got a little wiggly card. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. What else do we get in here? Looks like we have a little, couple Allen keys or something like that. Oh my gosh, it's a sticker. Holy, that's the biggest sticker I've ever seen in my life. This guy's called the Hawking Prophecy Doomsday CO2 gas blowback pistol, and it has a underbarrel shotgun, which is pretty cool. So I'll go ahead and take it out and show you guys what I mean. Sheesh. Damn, this looks crazy.
At first glance, this guy is pretty cool, honestly. It has some kind of crazy, like, rustic look to it with the actual, like, fake wooden grip, as well as the huge design up here for the actual underbarrel shotgun and the actual little metal rail at the top right there. So for style points, this guy definitely looks pretty cool, but the actual quality of it is a little questionable at times. As you can see, there's a lot of wobble going on with the underbarrel shotgun part. Like, it goes side to side and kind of just all around, so not the best, but, you know, at least it's doing the job. The difference between the standard one of these and the Doomsday one are definitely a big price increase, so debatably worth it for basically a fancy plastic painted piece on the front. But at least the actual underbarrel shotgun is functional, so that's definitely the coolest part of this guy. There's these two little tabs on either side. If you go ahead and press those, the little tube holding the actual shotgun shell will swing open and, of course, drop your little shotgun shell. And the shotgun shell itself is just a green gas powered one, so you put the little BBs at the top in that little cylinder right there, and then the green gas goes in right there. With this guy, it looks pretty complicated, but it's very simple. When you press both your fingers forward, this guy has a tiny little metal pin that will actually go ahead and press the little pin on the actual airsoft shotgun shell, and that will obviously puncture it and cause it to go off. The rest of the functionality of this guy is pretty simple. It's a CO2 non-gas blowback airsoft gun. You have a little green iron sight up there and a back one right there as well. And then instead of having a traditional mag release with this guy, it has a little like latch at the bottom where you're gonna actually have to pull that backward, and that will actually release the magazine from its place right there. Once you go ahead and pull this guy out, it is a single stack magazine and it is powered by CO2. And this guy has a pretty weird look to it. At the top, it has some kind of like diagonal like feeding system, which is pretty weird. That is pretty much it with this guy. Let's go ahead and shoot it and see how it does.
Okay, pretty damn hot for a pistol. 393.2 FPS with 1.44 joules. Yeah, dang, not too shabby. Just under 400 FPS with this guy. Bruh. I think it's shooting about 300 FPS, but damn, that RPS is nasty. 578.6 RPS. Not too shabby. All right, let's see what this guy's got. See the smoke, damn. So about half shots on the target, half shots off, kind of in this little center right here. Not too bad, but yeah, definitely was expecting a little bit better performance from this guy. All right, scooting back just a little bit. Let's see if this guy can even hit the target now. Let's try the shotgun shot here. 1, 2, 3. Hey, it worked. So this guy is non-blowback, so the trigger actually is pretty heavy actually, and it's not the fastest cycling. So trying to knock these 5 targets down as fast as possible might be a little bit of a challenge for this guy. Let's see how it goes. No, no, no. Oh my gosh, I missed that one so many times. All right, that was embarrassing. Let's try a second time. Oh, no. No. I can't tell if these iron sights are a little weird or I'm just a bad shot. Probably a little bit of both. All right, up next we have this bad boy. Pretty unique design for the actual box itself. This guy is a pretty intense name. It is called the 6mm Pro Shop Striker Electromagnetic Cannon. Let that sink in. That's a pretty insane name. Let's go ahead and see what this guy looks like. Oh, we opened it backwards.
Wow, it's a tiny piece of paper.
All right, so this is what this guy looks like. I bet you haven't seen one of these bad boys before on the field. This is absolutely insane.
So first and foremost, this guy has some pretty confusing branding on it. It has like an American flag on one side, it says made in Japan on the other side, and has some crazy like Spartan, a logo with some crazy name in Greek maybe? I have no idea. And then a logo up here that says Thunder Tactical. Yeah, I have no idea what this guy is. It's the electromagnetic cannon, of course. Even with this crazy look to it, you still have a little bit of room to pull back this bolt right here to access the hop-up. It does have a pretty standard little rotary red hop-up in there. All right, but getting on to the fun stuff now. So first, going to the actual front of this guy, you can see there's some kind of little green plastic lurking at the top and bottom of the little flash hider right there. So what the heck is that? When you first get this guy, there's like a little white tag that says like pull me to start or pull me to activate or something like that. And there's a little switch right next to that. And if you press that, as you can see, the little front of this guy actually glows, which is really cool. Very much fitting the name electromagnetic cannon. It kind of looks like it's powering up just to shoot one big blast. It's pretty cool. But of course, that's not all. Let's go to the back and check out some of the stuff back here. So the first thing is, well, where the heck does the battery go? If you look a little closer, there is like a really cool little battery icon on the top of this little like plastic piece. And if you actually take this plastic piece and swivel it upward, you'll actually get access to the little battery space. And in here, you can see there's not the most space for a battery that you would probably want, but at least it has some space. There is the standard little battery plug right there, but there's also a secondary one as well. But that one's actually pretty cool. So if you take this little white piece and actually plug it up to the little place where you normally charge the LiPo battery, it'll actually show you on the top of this guy the little LED battery right there, and it'll actually show you the actual battery percentage you have left.
Got some wobble on the mag. That is bad. Yikes, Scoob. Whoa. This guy's a pretty good trigger response. It is 11.1 volt LiPo I'm using with this guy, but not too shabby. Shooting about 355.6 FPS with 1.18 joules. Let's see how fast we can actually spam the trigger now. Interesting, so the trigger response itself when you initially pull the trigger is actually pretty dang good. But the problem is once you try to pull the trigger really fast, like kind of a whole bunch of times at once, it does not keep up whatsoever. It shoots like one per every like 3 to 5 trigger pulls. Either the electronics are limiting how fast you actually pull the trigger, or obviously the internals cannot keep up with that fast of a trigger pull. Regardless, the initial trigger pull is actually pretty good, the response and sensitivity, but pulling it pretty fast after that is not the best. Let's see what the full auto is at. Whoa, not too shabby. Almost 20 rounds per second, 19.7. So for this guy, I waited until it was a little bit darker outside because now we could see our little cool green light up here. Nice. And of course, our little illuminated battery light back there. All right, let's see what this guy's got. Obviously, this guy's no iron sight, so I'm trying my best. But yeah, pretty solid group. We got a lot in the red and yellow. We got a couple in the black, one in the blue, and of course, our first shot, just to see where I was going, over there to the left. Now, let's go back and see how this guy does a little bit every further distance. Semi-automatic, decent. Now, full auto, pretty damn good. See how fast we can get the targets down with this bad boy. Nice. Woo. All right, let's try to go as fast as we possibly can now. Obviously, no iron sight's gonna be a little bit hard, but I'll try my best. Let's see what we got. Oh no, I missed one. There we go. And now it's easy mode time. Let's do some full auto. Alright, of course for the grand finale, we got the biggest box. This guy is called the Muggin Fire Class 1 Custom Chainsaw Zombie Killer M249 Airsoft Machine Gun. Now that is a name. Alright, let's go ahead and box this guy and check it out. Definitely a pretty plain looking box for how crazy the name is. Yeet. So of course you get the huge drum mag right here, as well as some crazy like handle type of thing, and another little like handle thing as well right there, and some weird little button or latch right there. But of course, let's go ahead and take this out and check it out. The front half of this guy definitely looks like a normal M249. Nothing super crazy going on up there, but the back half of this guy definitely looks a little bit interesting. But we do have two other parts that did come with the box, so let's go ahead and put those on, and maybe that'll explain a little bit further how this guy works.
Huh? Oh no, bruh. Alright, so now seeing this thing all put together, the name of this guy definitely starts to make a little bit more sense. You got the crazy handle up front to be able to hold this guy, and a crazy handle at the back with a trigger on the top. But now let's of course talk about the actual functionality of this guy, because it does look cool and it is pretty fun to shoot, but it definitely has some cons to it. So essentially this guy is basically a M249 with a ability to hold it at the top right there with this little grip, and of course being able to fire it with this trigger right here at the back. The same way you hold a chainsaw, but this time you're holding an M249 belt-fed machine gun. And talking about the actual like handguard up here, it's not the best quality in my opinion. So I put this together and at first it was working really well, but I think the actual like screws of this guy kind of came undone that was attaching it to the body, and now it's kind of just like wiggling over the place and eventually just kind of like fell off. So either I'm dumb and I have no idea how this works, or it just broke off super easily. Another concern I had was heading back to this area right here. System back here is very flimsy and the body is kind of just like separated a little bit honestly, so not the best. As you can see, I actually left out one of the screws on this guy out because if I screwed that in, it'd be too tight on the body and pulling the trigger actually wouldn't do anything. So as you could hear, doesn't activate anything. And then when I take this guy and actually pull it upward and then pull the trigger, you're actually able to hear that little micro switch go off and for this guy to actually work. And my last concern is actually with the box mag itself. And this guy is actually electric powered, so to see what's actually going on, you actually have to open this little like latch area right here open. And then that's what's actually going on in the inside. And then there's a switch at the bottom to actually turn this guy on. Thank God they make a off switch for this guy, because this is my main concern with this guy is,
boy, ain't no way, boy.
it sounds super bad. I mean, that would give away your position so fast on the field. And a couple times I was trying to put this guy down, like, you know, set it down obviously on the box mag. And because of the way this little like plastic end piece works, is it's super easily able to like snap off when you put it down. So a couple times I lost all my BBs when putting it down.
Oh no.
But besides this super cheap like system back here and the handguard snapping off at the front and the super terrible sounds from the box mag, this thing's pretty cool. So without further ado, I bet you're dying to see how this thing shoots. Let's go ahead and test it out. All right, time for the monster. Well, the Chainsaw Zombie M249. Let's see what this guy's shooting at. Ha, looks like the FPS is 420.6 and 1.64 joules. And the RPS, let's check it out.
All right, looks like the RPS is about 8.3. It's obviously not the fastest RPS, but who needs fast RPS when you can just hold down the trigger for an hour? Unlimited ammo. Alrighty, so this guy does have iron sights indeed on the back and front, but of course this is the chainsaw one, so we're gonna be holding it like this, and we'll see if we can hit any shots. So for hip fire, actually not too bad. Man, sometimes you just gotta turn that thing off. That is a horrendous sound. Now let's go ahead and rip this handle off and see if we can get a little bit of a better result with no handle. Oh, that's awkward. Not too easy to use these iron sights, but we'll try our best. Let's check it out. Well, at least we did indeed improve our score, and BB's on target. We even got a yellow right there as well. All right, this guy's not practical. It's debatably high quality, and it makes a terrible sound when you wind the mag, and completely unusable in a normal game probably, but this is why you would get this guy.